Tell me, how has cannabis impacted your life?
Now, this is something I've been asked a few times now. The answer is simple. It gave me my life back. Over the years of putting a flame to a pan or mincing onions, I've learned that state of mind is a powerful thing. Far too often do we let things like anxiety and depression take the wheel and steer us. The use of cannabis has taught me the importance of self-care, which has allowed me to take a step back, observe, deduce, and calculate my feelings and emotions. This has helped me in so many ways in and out of the kitchen. That I believe in this so much, I've decided to change my life and help erase the stigma behind the devil's lettuce. This is where I choose to tell my story with flavors and terpenes. Only this is where I add my own flavor, a flavor that can help people heal as I did, cannabis. So grab a joint, light it up, and come with me as I embark on this journey. This is Deliciously Dope, a journey into the world of culinary cannabis. Should resonate well with y'all. Marjorie, Harvey today, y'all, on the Daily Chronicles, coming at your faces. As soon as I click the fucking button. Gotta find it. Oh, here. What's up? I'm back here with Marjorie, Harvey. How you doing, Chef, today? How you doing?
Amazing. How are you doing, Roddy?
So it's funny because I probably shouldn't do dabs right before the show, but it's cool because it happened. So there's that. But I'm good. Thank you for coming on the show today. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you this weekend at CANACON. And we have some mutual friends that we sat down with. And I will say this. I feel contractually obligated that I can't say anything as of yet. However, I believe that the same thing that we sat down with this weekend, I think that there will be a press release. Wasn't there? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
There was mention of that. But at the same time, I can now say, yo, I don't get paid for that. Like, I can be like, that's above my pay grade. I've been waiting to say that, but you know, I can say this. And I want to ask you quick because, like, we all have different takeaways, okay? So today's episode is going to be a little bit different. It's going to still be the 5 dubs and stuff, but I'm really interested, like, to hear your perspective on everything that happened that, you know, this weekend and whatnot. But before we get to that, I want people to know who you are. If, you know, some of my fans and friends and family out there don't know, yo, who are you? Tell them what you do.
Okay. Well, I do a lot. So I am the owner of Divine Epicurean and Entertainment. So I am the chef for that. We do catering, personal chef work, and infused food. So infused catering service, infused private chef services for small to medium sized parties. I am also the the COO of the Mirage, and that is a members, upscale members cannabis club. And we have a lot of events. We have an event coming up this coming Saturday, July the 3rd, and this our Table 420. We do it every 3 months, and it basically you get to taste my food, see how we have events, and if you decide that you want to be a member, then you
absolutely. I love that. That's literally dope. And that's the gist of the name. But you and I had a chance to sit down with High Times Cannabis Cup Award winner Gigi Diaz this weekend.
Yes.
We missed Chef Sunflowers. Sorry. Like, listen. We were invited to a dinner on Friday for Matthew Abel retiring, and wanted to go, was planning to go, but then we saw the weather and everything, life hit us. Luckily I didn't, because, well, I think I would be fishing my car out right now. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, but nevertheless, we were able to catch up with, Matt Abel, attorney Matt Abel. Congratulations on retirement. Dude, Michigan normal, gotta say it. And so there was some leftovers. And listen, we chefs, we ain't picky. If you hear those leftovers and you ain't gotta cook it, shit.
we there.
We were with a quickness. We were in the same car. We were like, nah, we'll figure it out later. So we went and had a little powwow and started to talk and found out that we can make a difference. We can definitely make a difference and start using, our professional guidelines and start educating people. So I think we all kind of, team high five, if you will. And, yeah, I mean, we're gonna see what comes. What happens. I'm really excited about that. The collaborations to come are just absolutely crazy, and I'm super excited to say that I'm gonna come to this next event of yours on July 3rd, and I gotta get that barbecue. It's just gotta happen, because here's the thing, and I'm sure you know this, but the late great Anthony Bourdain said that barbecue may not solve world hunger or be the key to world peace, but it's a start. You know what I mean? It's a damn good start. And
That's right.
And that's what we need right now, is a damn good start. And from that,
once you add cannabis to it, it's a hell of a start, and end and middle.
Exactly. We're going to curate this entire, ensemble effect for you and navigate where you go via terpenes and flavors. With barbecue, oh my God, yes. Can I ask you something real quick? Because I didn't see it on the menu, and you wouldn't put this on the menu. You'll know what I mean when I ask you. But what about like some pickles, some like deli pickles, some fridge pickles?
It can be done.
Oh, I'll help. I mean, shit. If that's what I can do that. That's not easy. Let me know. Yeah, let me know. I'll prep them ahead of schedule. I got room.
Okay, I'm letting you know.
Let's do it. All right.
It's done.
Just listen. So I'm not bragging, not boasting, and if this person is listening, he taught me this, so thank you. So Adam, that's all I'm gonna say. Chef Adam, sous chef, Adam, great guy. Okay. I like that guy. He taught me how to make what's called fridge pickles. I shit you not, they're done in a couple of hours if you do it right.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And so,
Okay.
I mean, you gotta that's what you're doing for the next 2 hours, but they'll be done. You know what I mean? The point is, that's the thing. I don't know how many times I came into work and I'm like, yo, you got hands here. He's like, nope, Adam's on pickles. And I'm like, are you again? Like, dude, you got one thing to do. That's it. And so it's a never ending thing. And on days you would think that he would come in and make two, so he would no, I just wouldn't do it. I was like, listen, I love you, but it's backwards. You're doing it wrong, so it is what it is. They're doing a good thing. They're happy to be working full staff here in Michigan again. I hear you caught a plane.
Oh yeah, so I'm actually in Myrtle Beach now. I know.
Oh, yeah. I say that to rub it in. Did you see the storm clouds rolling as you're like, no, fuck that place.
Well, I needed to get away, and then on the way here, it actually rained a little bit when we first got here, but apparently God seen me come off the plane and the sun came back out. That's
a sunny disposition if I've ever heard one. The actual alliteration of that. I have the producer over here looking at me going, what the fuck, man? So, but, I like that, and I like hearing about where people go, and things like that. And it's because I didn't do a lot of traveling, man. I didn't, and a lot of that was just, I blame it's equal parts work ethic and equal parts, having to survive to live, really, and. Yeah, I fucked up my life, but I should be able to fix it if I want to, and it shouldn't be twice as hard. That's the power of cannabis. It kind of helps that, which is why we have these conversations. Now, we kind of digress a little bit. We smoke weed. It is what it is. But I want to catch your opinions, kind of like what happened. Because you turned to me at one point in time. You were like, "How did this even happen?" And that was my answer. That's exactly what I said. I was like,
Right. It was meant to be. The universe put us all together at the right place in the right time, and boom, that's what happened out of it.
Exactly. I don't question shit anymore. I used to, because I was like, oh, well, I can't do it Wednesday because I got to work a double shift. I was always worrying about working. But if you're working no, you have to live to, don't live to work. Work to live. You understand?
Right.
Like, know your fucking value. I say that because it's like, excuse me. There was a little bit of guff on the internet regarding that normal dinner that took place, and there was a price, and there's a price adjustment, and da-da-da. And I was one of the defenders, I'll be honest with you. That's fine. I'll screenshot. I'll show it to you. I said it. Listen, if a chef says it's $150 a plate or per person, there's a reason for that. Okay?
Right.
That's the point. Okay, how does it look now that there was a price adjustment to, such a low price adjustment like that? It doesn't look good, and it looks questionable. And I've had some people ask, hey, do you know about it? Yes, weirdly enough, people talk. That being said, it's none of my business until it's my business. I'm not speaking for shit. First and foremost, I do not have a pony in that race. What I can say is this: those are some good-looking ponies. That's it. That's my comment. Hopefully my pony does good. That's all I'm gonna say. We're all here doing the same thing. And I want to hear like your takeaway, because I feel like if I hear your takeaway, it's easier to tell people my takeaway, and then it makes sense. Is that You
mean from the total overall night period?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah,
CHRONIclez was pretty cool.
It was exciting, invigorating. It was like just to know about other people, other chefs, and other people who can assist us chefs to put some type of regulation or what we can do in the kitchen. With cannabis, so we can freely, you know what I'm saying? I don't really, I don't even have the words. I'm so excited. Okay.
Well, excitement, I will say, teases a little bit with pleasure at that point, because here's what entices me. When I found out that I would have a chance to have a say on creating a new culture at this point in time, because you're mixing cannabis with culinary in this sense, okay, or cooking, either way. All of my life, I've been bitching, pissing, moaning. I wish I could change the industry if I could. X, Y, and Z. Blah 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 blah. Right? We've all done it. Okay. This is my fucking chance. So all those times, you guys be like, well, you just want to, you can hang on a second, because this is already damaging me internally, mentally, and you have no idea, and that's what I want to say to these people. And then all these haters out there, but listen, I've been given a chance to be part of something enormous and groundbreaking, and I'm going to do it, because that's exactly what I need to do, and so there's no cash out. They think that's there's a couple of people who have already said that's the case, and that is not the case. No. A, B, honestly, unless you're fucking me or funding me, it ain't really none of your business.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, well, like they say in Detroit, and that's your business. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's the point of it. Like, somebody will bitch to me, be like, and that's your business. Like that. I'm sorry. Like that. Why? I'm not gonna. No. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be involved with that. But at the same time, I want to know your takeaway, because it's like the story is interesting, and that's why we got you on the show today. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to know, where did you kind of come from and things like that, cannabis wise. And knowing these cannabis wise, we're going to figure it out, cooking wise. I'm sure the two go hand in hand with you,
Yes.
a lot in life, if you will. I want to know that. And I have an inclination that I think the two intertwine a lot more than you probably want to admit. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I'm figuring that out. Look, more and more that it really, it's intertwining more and more now that I have the freedom to just because I worked in a corporate job,
Right.
and I was chefing on the side.
Right.
So just for me to have the ability to be free and creative in my craft is something that I know I'm good at, and then I also love cannabis. So you infuse the two together, and it just makes me proud.
Exactly. It's a sense of pride, really. I'll be honest with you. Absolutely.
Because the things I create, it's usually like things that people love that I already cook,
Right.
that's non-infused.
Yep.
So now I'm just adding some cannabis with it, and now you really love it, because now you can get high.
It is medicating. Yeah, it is medicating. That's one thing that I do want to advocate above all else. Yes, regardless of how much you dose an edible, and I'm going to say this now, it is still medicating. You have to look at it from that. And that's the point of it. At the same time, is it direct? Yeah. So if you're taking 1,000 milligram gummies, I'm going to assume that's recreational. Okay. You're taking 100 milligram gummies, I'm going to assume that's medicating. So that's it, all bases off doses. I'm sorry. I just wanted to go ahead and just, that disclaimer out there for everybody.
Right. I got you.
But no, it's speaking of like a sense of like nobility, a sense of pride. We're going to hit this commercial real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to start the 5 dubs. You're going to love this. Real quick, a message from our sponsors.
All right. Talking about whole damn.
That was Noble Road, nobleroad.com. Like, absolutely go check them out. They got tie-dye sugar cookies that are just unmatched because, well, they're delicious. And they're appropriately dosed. Like, I feel like, I can smash a couple of those if I wanted to in the morning and be able to function. You feel me? So that's really good.
That's good.
Speaking of good, let's talk about your can of past. You know what I mean? So kind of set the stage for us for this first dub. The like, who, what, when, where, and why. Like, lay it out for us. Tell me, what was your first time smoking weed, and like, what were you doing?
Okay, so my first time smoking weed, I was in high school. We were, first of all, I was in private school too. We can go back there. It's just that I was a private school kid.
To make it even worse, private school.
But we were on a college tour to Oakland University, and my best friend at the time, her brother went to school there, and we snuck away from the tour and went in there and got so high, and then like somehow met up with them later. And then that's just where it started.
Okay. All right, so you guys escape, you sneak away, you find your spot, you're standing there. What are you smoking on? What happened? Like, what happened?
I think I just laughed a lot because when I was young, I used to like steal cigarettes and smoke them and try to smoke them.
Who didn't?
I could really like cigarettes. So then, so when it came to smoking weed, it was kind of like, okay, I smoke it like, and I was smoking it like I was smoking a cigarette.
It's just a left-handed cigarette. That's all it is.
Right. So it's just a funny cigarette, as my parents would say.
It's that wacky tobacco.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So and all I can remember is just laughing and having a good time, and I was like, shoot, this is a good thing. I don't know what people be talking about.
You're like, listen, y'all wrong.
Right, like,
this is great.
I've also had, I've had siblings that smoke, so I'm like, they don't seem fucked up, so it should be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like I hate him, but he's still alive. Like he's fine.
Right.
Yeah,
he's on my nerves, but
exactly.
Good job.
I feel that. Like so I grew up in kitchens, a little bit, and I learned the metric system really well. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
That's all I can.
Kitchen will teach you metric very well.
Yeah, I know how to measure. Let's just put it that way. And it was funny because like, you would always know, like, if you got a new job in a new kitchen, dude, regardless of what you do to not smell like weed, you smell like weed. Like, that's not even. So I would walk into a new kitchen and the chef's like, well, you're hired. I'm like, huh? And he's like, bro, you smell like weed. I'm like, I don't smell like a bar. He's like, yeah, well, you're already hired. He's like, you got any? I was like, what? So, yeah. But at the same time, I did learn a lot, from those people, a lot of what not to do. So there's that. And things of that nature, but it is what it is. That was a different person, a different time, a different life. So moving forward a little bit, like at the end of the day, like period at the end of the sentence, why did you smoke weed that first time? Was it just to fit in, or like you're just like, screw it, let me try it?
Yeah, I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. And that was it. And I think I was always curious because I always liked the way it smelled. So I was like, well, I want to know, what they've been doing, and I'm talking like my brothers and sisters are like 15 years older than me. Okay. So of course now I'm like, well, I've smelled the weed. I've seen them going out. You've seen everything. Yeah. And so now you want to know, you want to try what you see your brothers and sisters doing, or your cousins, and everybody else having fun. And I smell it. I can't never go in the room, but I smell it. Right.
So I see that though. Okay, so and I want to elaborate a little bit on that because we've never had that answer, and I love it because I can see it so vividly. I love it. I feel you though on so many levels, because it's like, even in my family in restaurants, yeah, you would smell it in the restaurants. You'd be like, yo, what are they smoking? Because that don't smell like cigarettes. You know what I mean? Right. You learn pretty quick, and then you're like, oh, that's marijuana? And then they're like, don't tell anybody, and you have this inside, like, I want to tell on you. And fucking one time my mom sent me to school pissed off, so I told on her straight to the dare officer. I was like, my mom's got drugs at home. And they're like, what do the drugs look like? I was like, she smokes them. And that's all I said. And they're like, okay. I got a free ride to my house in a police car. Well, my mom did not like that. She got searched real quick, and they did. Luckily, she's like, luckily I didn't have any fucking weed on me, you little dipshit. But I was like, I didn't know. They told us that cigarettes were bad, and that's what I thought that they meant. And so those to me were drugs. And so the dare, it's funny. I get picked on for it, and it is what it is. And I don't think my mom ever forgave me for it, but. Either way, it happens. We learn from things. I'm not doing that shit again. But I hated the DARE program. I really did. You had to sign your life away for a tie-dye t-shirt that you can buy online for $2 now. Cool. Right. What else did you lie to me about? Like, you took away the Easter Bunny. You took away Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas isn't real. Jaws wasn't real. Fuck. Right. Your erection isn't real. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn. That's my point. Like, real talk. Let's do this. Just to get back at these people that kind of told us and shit. Let's do this. Let's make it to where if men that have big problems with, the little things down below, if you get my drift, can get these fucking like artificial boners from these dick hardening pills, okay?
Right.
Switch that. Give women the free contraceptives and shit that they actually fucking need, that they can control. You see what I'm saying? Why is one get even away? That doesn't make any sense, and that's not fair. I'm not okay with that. But here's the thing. I can't, you see what I'm saying? Staying in my lane. I can support that and be an ally, but I don't have that. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's it. Having a stance on that's just human rights, man. That's not politics. That's just like, what the fuck? Right. But that taught me a lot growing up in the kitchens and having those like inside, like, don't tell anybody moments, because what else you got in life? It's just a lot of just like hurrying up to like wait, and it doesn't matter what aspect you're in. That's where it's at. I like that story because I know what it's like to be in the kitchen and to be outside and smelling this wacky tobacco and you really wanting to try it and then getting a chance to, because you see the entire machine run, you see all the people involved, you see everything affected, but you don't get to experience it fully because you don't smoke it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's what it is, and then once you're able to experience it, you're like, holy shit, let's play with that train set. You know what I mean? Like that's badass. I like that story. I don't think I've ever heard that. I love it. I love that story. I love that story. But one more thing that I do love is cleaning my piece. And when we come back after this message from Resrid, 2 seconds, I broke the thing. Yeah, I had to get rid of that. There we go. From Resrid, clean your pieces, y'all. We're going to talk about her favorite cannabises and the way to use them when we come back. That's Resrid.com. Resrid's got these cool little like bomb things that you can clean your pieces with, and honestly, like, yes, it does matter. It affects taste and flavor and stuff. And quite honestly, I didn't think that I'd be using as much of it as I do, and I use quite a bit because I constantly smoke. But it is really, really good. We'll get you some to try, Marjorie. But this is the next dub. This is all about your favorite kind of like, way to use cannabis or favorite edibles or anything like that. So, tell me about it. Like, vibe with me. Set the the stage. Like, when do you most like to use cannabis? Like all day? Like, what do you use it for? Like, what's the scoop there?
Oh man, I use well, it's almost an all day thing because when I wake up, I roll up a wrap and drink my coffee. And I smoke. That's how I start my morning.
That's a wake and bake if I've ever heard one.
Yes, and then it also helps when I meditate. So it kind of puts you right into a meditative mode. Because I sit in silence while I'm drinking my coffee and smoking. So that's how I start my day, and then from there on, it just kind of depends on how busy I am. But because sometimes I can go and go and go, and then I'll be like, dang, why am I getting so cranky? And I'm like, oh, I haven't smoked. That's why you're right. Stressing out. So then I'll smoke. And then some days, like, I can sit there and I'll be like, dang, I think I just smoked a whole eighth, and it's only half of a day. So I
look at the phone. Oh, it is Monday. Okay, right. That's why I hate everything.
On my stress level. Like some people smoke cigarettes, I smoke weed.
Yeah. I feel that in so many levels. It's not even funny because, well, I mean, it's the exact same thing that happened to me. Like we started the same way, and now we're just kind of like, all right, well, it's dab time, or like, I could definitely go for some edibles right now, or whatever. Last night, in order to go to sleep. So listen, it's kind of funny. I was finishing up the leftovers from Gigi Diaz that we got from Detroit, the Rasta pasta that she made. Yep. And then she infused it before we left, if you remember correctly.
Yep, I remember.
She got a heavy hand. Let me tell you.
I can admit, that's why I was like, nope, I'm okay, because I have a heavy hand.
Oh, no. So, first and foremost, I didn't watch her pour it. Okay, so I was paying attention. I was high. I was miles away. I wasn't paying attention to shit. So I ate it all of it, and forgot that it was infused. And so I'm sitting there looking at my girlfriend, and she's looking at me. She goes, "How high are you?" I go, "What?" And that's when I knew I was high. Everything was kind of slow motion a little bit. You know, you feel good. And I'm just like, I'm going to bed. And she's like, well, good, because it's fucking like midnight 30. And I'm like, uh-huh. I was out. She wakes me up this morning because I had a doctor's appointment. I'm like, I'm not going. Fuck that guy. Like, I was like, no. I'm still sleeping right now. Like, I was like, no. And she's like, you have to. I was like, I don't have to do shit. Like, the whole time I'm riding there just grumpier and shit. I was like, I haven't smoked yet. And she's like, I brought your dab pen. I was like, give me a minute. And I'm sitting here like dab pen in one hand, coffee in the other, sitting in this parking lot. Just, she's like, you're gonna be late. I was like, I don't give a shit. I go in there and he's just like, well, your blood pressure looks great. I was like, I know.
Yeah.
They did a lab and looked at my blood and everything. He's like, so I did a urine test. I was like, yeah, and? Yeah. So he knows I smoke weed a lot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
He's like, how do you? I was like, I can't comment. I literally said, I was like, I can't comment on anything that I do under contractual obligation. He's like, why? I was like, because you're a medical professional. He's like, what? I was like, couldn't tell you. It's not true. None of that's true. But the fact is, I just didn't want to tell him. You know what I mean? Like, I've got, dude, I don't even want to be here. You know what I mean? Like, just play with my balls if you have to, and let's go. Like, you know what I mean? I've got shit to fucking do. Like, but it was. Well, listen, like, I was still. I wouldn't say. I was still high. Like the edibles, I ate the whole thing. I don't know. Girl, I don't even know how she punched it in there. Like, it could have been 500 to the dome, like, which doesn't sound like a lot. But for me, all at once, that's a lot.
Already high, so, she probably was just going and she got you.
So we get home and she goes, you feel better? I was like, no, I need to do a dab. And then I dabbed. I was like, I feel great. She's like, how high were you for that? I was like, I don't know. Like, it happened, but everything was great. Doc said everything was cool. Your boy's got a clean bill of health.
That's good.
Yeah, he checked my vocal cords because he's like, you sound a little harsh. So I was like, yeah, because I do voice acting and in the show and everything like that. Plus, I don't want to tell you how much copious amounts of cannabis that I consumed on Friday and Saturday, and then, Sunday, might as well follow suit.
Oh, so. Wow, yeah, because this past weekend, it was a lot of cannabis consumed.
A lot of good cannabis, too. That's the thing. Like, that's...
a lot of good cannabis. That's the key.
Oh, yeah.
Good cannabis.
Oh, yeah. I remember when we were having that little powwow, I took that time and rolled that big fat-ass cone. That was... Whew, man, when you sit across from somebody like a Matthew Abel and GGDS and Chef Marjorie here and Lisa that was with us, and hell, even my girlfriend, you sit with like iconic people, and so you're like, okay, I'm a little intimidated. And I was like, here, I'll do my best work and have Matthew Abel, who smoked with all these famous people and all these OGs and stuff. Right. Like, that's a damn good rolled joint. I was like, cool. I thought so too. Like, I was like, thank you. So I'm gonna take that one. But it was pretty cool. Like, he showed me a different way to smoke, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, when you do the joint and the thing, like, that was pretty cool. So I'm gonna start doing that just to be gnarly. Plus, it is cool. It's fun. It's weird, but I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of weird things and liking them, so you smoke basically all day. Wake and bake. You smoke when you need to, when you want to. Cool. Like, where's your, everybody knows a place. Where's your, like, favorite, like, if you're going to be like, yo, I know a place, let's go smoke. Where are we going?
My house? No.
I mean, that'll work. If that's your favorite place to smoke, you're like, yo, no, I know a place. Like, here we go. Because if I was like, yo, I know that changes, person to person, but, like, I would be like, hey, I have an idea, and there's, a place not too far from my house that's, like, just kind of scenic, and you see the river. Don't get in that shit, because it's disgusting as fuck, but the point is, like, it looks nice, right? and you can smoke weed there, and it's neat. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, I would take people there, you know? Where's your favorite place to smoke weed? Your house?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm really like a loner. I don't really be around a lot of people. I usually am by myself.
I feel that.
So if I go if I go to a park, I'll go to any park. Like if this park is outside, I prefer to be by water, but I mean, because of where I live, I mean, if I could, I would live off of a beach, and that would be my house. But I can't, so I have to. I get out in nature and I'll walk and smoke, or I'll just sit on the porch and smoke. So, yeah.
My favorites. And this is gonna be funny. So I want you to imagine a bunch of middle-aged white men that have beer bellies that are high as balls on edibles, just tromping through the forest through a thunderstorm. We call it thunder running, and it's pretty fun and liberating. From the outside looking in, it's terrifying and nobody knows what's going on. So no, it's funny because like we were in the neighborhood, and this is a couple years ago, and we get an alert on the phone. They didn't know who it was. Just kept running through the woods, just screaming and yelling, and like someone's security cam caught us a little bit. They're like, "Who are these people?" And my girlfriend chimed in. She's like, "It's my boyfriend." Sorry, he's harmless.
I thought she had to apologize for you.
No, I got a couple of looks, but it was all right. Once they smelled, they figured it out. But they're like, "He's all right." Don't give him any more brownies, though. No, it was great. It was great, and there's ticks everywhere. Like it was disgusting. But what I want to know is this: like at the end of the day, period, at the end of the sentence, why do you consume cannabis?
Because it relaxes me, and I like cannabis. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the taste of the different kinds. I love just almost everything. Like I like learning about the nerdy stuff about cannabis, like the science of it. Learning more about cooking it, which is what made. That's not the only reason I got into.
Cheers, by the way. This is some of that pineapple watermelon.
Oh,
yeah.
You're drinking it?
Mm-hmm. That's good. It's good. It's
don't drink the whole thing.
Uh-oh.
I got heavy hands like Gigi, so I don't want you to be asleep for 3 days.
Well, now you tell me.
Maybe not 3 days because you smoke. You're a dabber. So.
I mean, I'll be all right. I'm going one way. You know what I mean? So it's full send at this point. No, it'll be all right. I'm not too that awfully worried about it.
You'll probably be fine. You'll probably be fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. How close are you with Jesus? You're about to shake his fucking hand, all right? No, I jest, but I mean, at the end of the day, I do medicate. I have a decently strong tolerance in certain aspects. Some people are like, oh, well then, no, man, like, yo, I can smoke joint after joint after joint and still function. That's not even, that's a party popper to me. You know what I mean? I'm to the point, I don't do blunts because I don't like the nicotine. If you got like something that's not, that's like not nicotine, blunt wrappers do it. But
look, my favorite thing to smoke is high hemp wraps. These babies, all natural, and I like. I prefer those. If I don't really. Well, I won't smoke. If you pass me a backwood or something like that, I'm not smoking.
Nah, dude. Plus, here, dude. Real talk. Let's talk about this real quick. Okay, so when you smoke a backwood, it gets down to like being a roach. But at the end of the day, when you're at the end of the circle, like they don't look like a roach. You look like a big ass black booger that no, I ain't. I'm not. How you gonna smoke that? It's gonna stick to your lips. It's like a big old piece of fucking chewed bubble gum or beef jerky or some shit. It looks disgusting.
Smells like trees are burning. You can't. It takes away the taste of the weed and everything.
Mm-hmm. I don't fuck with backwoods. I will a few times if I can keep my own. Like if we're all lighting up at the same time, that's one thing. So I guess call like, I don't know, COVID rules or something. Whatever, you can call it whatever you want. But like I will bring my own weed if I have to, you know, if that's the case. But like, it's just too sticky for me. It's because it's just, that is what it is. But at the same time, to watch people roll up a backwood or something, and that little like, in the packaging itself was so ingenious. Like, have you seen that? They do the pile technique, and then they wrap it up a certain way, and then when you just roll up the paper, it rolls it for you.
When I see people, I see them, they be cutting the paper and all that. I'm like, that's too much to have to go through. First of all, they have to roll some weed.
Yeah. Well, okay, so hang on. Talking about going through too much just to smoke some weed, there are people that will take a big old like bowl of flour and then take a dab banger over it, heat up the dab banger, smoke the bowl of flour while with the hotness of the dab banger, and then do a dab out of the banger at the same time.
Oh yeah, I've seen some stuff like that.
Why?
My some of these wraps that my partner rolled, it'll have wax in it, the flour, and it may be it'd be like 3-4. You got it,
yeah. I've had these things called CHRONIclez, and so what they were tarantula legs. The reason they call it that is because what they'll do is they'll roll a joint, roll a cone. Okay, cool. And then paint, I think it was, I don't know if it was distillate or if it was wax or something on the outside. I don't remember that. Sorry, guys. But then they would roll that in keef of the same flour or that was inside of it, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. And you know, they're like $14-15 at this dispensary that I was at. I was like, all right, that's pretty gnar. You know, I was down in Detroit. I was like, yo, let me get it. And so I smoked it, and I actually enjoyed it, to tell you the truth. Like, I was like, this is pleasant. I would definitely smoke that more than once. And that was, you know, I don't say that about pre-rolls though, you know what I mean? Like, that's really weird. But I mean, why? I look at it this way, like, if I can save money by learning how to do it, I'm going to do that, and that's what we're talking about, you know. And so our
pre-rolls be for our table 420.
Yep. I mean,
there's something like that.
You know, I think that we're going to have a lot of that. We're going to have a lot of fluctuation in price until we can get regulations into place and things of that nature. We're going to have a lot of fluctuation in everything. And if we're going to have a legal market, white market, and a black market, well, that's always there. Right. Then you have to have balance in like a gray zone. You understand? Right. To keep everything in its place, you have to have order. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying like order. No. You have to have organization. You have to have a foundation. You have to have, you know, vertical integration. You've got to have these things in play, or the machine's not going to run well. You know, right. You, as one person, you can do a lot, but you can't do everything. That's the point. And so, if we can help, you know, benefit people from henceforth on and be pioneers in this industry, then fucking tally ho, you know what I mean? Like, let's do this shit. Like, let's move forward and make a difference. I've talked about wanting to for my entire life, so it's time that we nut up or shut up. Speaking of nutting up and shutting up, I want to play a little ditty from mycanaware.com before we take a break real quick and get back to the crazy dub with Chef Marjorie here. So when we come back, we'll find out what happens when Chef Marjorie just gets way too hot. When we come back, y'all. That's mycanaware.com, y'all. Go check them out. It's this motivated. It's really cool. Man, I will tell you this. There's I added a little bit of like grape juice to that, and it's really weird. It's really weird. It's strange, but at the same time, I ain't mad. It is a lemonade, so you got to remember that, and there's that twang to it, and I'm just like, hello. how are you? And then it starts to entangle my tongues with THC, and it's very tantalizing. So I dig it, but it is delicious. So thank you, and
thank you.
It's almost gone. So there's that. Crazy Dubs. I'm sure I'm going to find out here in a second myself from this drink, but we're going to find out Chef Marjorie's this time. So Crazy Dubs, yo, tell me about that one time of like when you were just like, yo, I'm way too high. The sky is pink. We have an issue. What happened?
I have been too high. Like I was sitting fully dressed on the couch before, like just watching TV. I might have been working on something, I don't remember, but I just remember waking up at like what I thought was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I'm like, oh shit, I got to go to bed. I'd have been down here all night. I'm about to go up here and go to bed. I'm tired anyway. And when I got upstairs and I got to bed and something, I don't know what made me look at my phone, and my phone was like, it said 10 o'clock.
So you were like, I'm good.
Well, I still went to sleep because I was still super high.
Right. You're like, is today tomorrow or was it yesterday? What happened there?
Right. So I was like, well, I still need to go to sleep because I can't function. I gotta go back. I gotta go back to sleep.
I feel that. I've worked under those conditions, and it's just like, so the worst is coming in on your day off and not remembering it was your day off, and then they let you work an entire shift.
Before they tell you why you here.
And then they're like, yeah, why were you here today? And I'm like, what? Yeah, I was like, well, homeboy didn't come in. And they're like, well, you were here. So I'm like, well, you would have called me in anyway. So I was like, I guess, fuck. But at the same time, fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Like, how I come work on my day off?
Right. How you motherfuckers gonna let me? Did you pay me for today? Like, you best be paying me. Like, I clocked in. And so it would be adjusted, but, the point is, like, dude, say something. We deserve days off. Like, if you came to the studio and I was like, yo, today is your day off, go home. That's what I'm going to say. And then I'm going to be like, take me with you. What was the first thing that we talked about? Yo, you're like, I'm the person in the van with candy, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, huh?
Right, because I
that's
said,
interesting.
Hey, you want some candy, little boy?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Oh, by the way, that was delicious.
Oh, thank you.
That was delicious. So what I did with that was, I actually, you're gonna laugh at this. I broke it up and then I just poured it into my mouth. I like smash it all up because I like hard candy, but it sticks to my teeth no matter what it is. Okay. And so I was like, well, I wonder. And so then like I made like a little powder and I just poured it in my mouth and it like melted and it was delicious. I think I started vacuuming the grass outside after I ate that.
Okay.
Yeah, or something of the nature. But I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Consistency was great too. But so, tell me about like another time like where you were just like, listen, I know I'm way too high. Obviously, I know the days are flying by. Like, how did you come down for it? Or do you know how to come down from that? Like, when the panic starts to set in, or a little bit of anxiety, if that's something that occurs, if you're one of those people. I'm one of those people. That's why I asked.
I can't think of a time, even when I was younger, but I'm kind of calm now compared to where I come from and how I used to be when I was younger.
Okay.
So, I used to have, like, this dangerous edge to me, so I don't think I've never been like so high that I was paranoid or scared. So you really went from a devil without like a rebel devil without a cause to an angel with a purpose. Okay, cool. I like that. I dig that. Yeah, pretty much. Having kids slowed me down a whole lot. Saved your life, didn't it? Yes, probably so. I would think
Same
so
here.
because I would probably still be. I was like, how they say Catholic school kids and the church kids is the wildest ones. True story.
That's it.
Yeah, I just by day I did the right thing. I went to work or I went to school. I did what I was supposed to do.
Right.
But after that, it was on. I mean, like I used to dance, but I had a corporate job.
Right.
Crazy shit. So yeah, right. So like I would, and then I used to like try to sneak and dance, and so like I wouldn't run into like none of my brothers or anything in the club. It was I was a mess.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds like a lot.
And I used to wear a suit to work every day.
Nah. Nah.
Just to leave it and just be completely just a savage when you leave there. You know, it
Yeah.
was, yeah.
I remember. It's hard to like not go into detail because I don't want to. I don't want to accreditate people that don't deserve credit. You know what I mean? So I leave names out of things just in general. But unless I'm talking about it, you know, whatever. The point is, so I went to go apply for this job, and I walked in, and I was like, "Hey, man, yeah, this isn't that." And I answered, you know, he has some stupid questions that they always ask you, and he let me, you know, leave the interview without basically, you know, determining a number factor of compensation. So dollars per hour, basically. And I didn't notice until I was driving away from it. And then he calls me. He's like, "So what am I putting down here for your salary?" I'm like, "Well, what do you normally pay?" Don't ever ask that. Okay. He goes, "We're going to give the job to someone else." I'm like, "What?" And it was like, what? He was like, "Well, you know, if I you know, you were a great person and great interview until you asked that question. No one in my kitchen should ask that question." And I was like, "What? What?" What it was is he called a couple of my you know, references, professional references. And those people, one of them covered my ass and asked a good question. They're like, "Listen, if you're going to pay him less than this an hour, he's going to say you're insulting him, and he'll going to swerve on you. But if you're going to pay him this, you'll get a good person. You pay him that, he'll be there every goddamn day and run circles around you." Like that person, I know who said that. I know why they said it, and I worked hard for that, you know, and so did they. But he calls me back and he goes, when I called him back, or he called me for the salary position, and when I told him, I was like, "Well, what do you normally pay?" Like, don't ever ask that question first and foremost. He's absolutely right. But at the same time, that's a dumb reason. You know what I mean? Like, clearly I know what you did and like what's going on, but that's a dumb reason to hide behind. Like, if you can't even lie good to me, I don't know if I want to work with you. You know what I mean? Like, shit, you don't have any imagination at that point, but you know?
Yeah, and being a chef and kitchen work is imaginative.
Yep. The only thing that really slows you down in the kitchen is your imagination. Listen, if I need to drip water on something and you got the sinks filled up, I'm going to build an aluminum foil bridge across some shit over to where I need it. You feel me? Like, that's going to happen.
Right.
All right. I shit you not. There was a kitchen that, and we would wash these by hand, but there was Hot Wheel tracks. And I'm like, what the hell? Shit you not. They built a funnel out of it. They did, too, with aluminum foil over it. I was like, it's brilliant. And all you had to do, they're like, "Yo, set up the track. Yo, run this, run that." And it was actually stupid legit and sanitary, and I loved it.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, from Hot Wheel tracks, I was like, "What do you do when you got to clean them?" They're like, "We take it off and ran the cars." I was like, "Shut the fuck," and they do too. We jump in the cars and shit. That's fun at 2 o'clock in the morning, but you know, whatever. I digress though. I want to know though, like, have you ever kind of been there for anybody that, like, you know, that was just had way too much to smoke, and you're like, "Listen, I got you. Like, it's gonna be cool." Like, I've been there a few times. What about you?
Oh yeah, that's funny because I was just talking about the time my marketing assistant, she got too high at one of our events, and we were in between sessions of people coming, and she had to take a nap, and I was like, "I'll wake you up like 10 minutes before the next group of people are supposed to come so you can get back in action." But it was so funny. She was like, "Man, them drinks you made put me out." And then what I did was we had light refreshments, and so I didn't tell them what was infused and what wasn't infused.
Okay, first and foremost, shame on you.
I told her no before when they went. I said, "Listen,
no, you knew what you was doing.
Not you got to figure out what you gonna try."
See, this is how you had mercy, because you could have put X-Lax in the other one and shits and giggles. Let's find out which one happens. All right, but you were like, "I don't want no one shitting their pants," so you're like, "I'm gonna not do X-Lax." So it was like, "Yo, it's either hot or it's not. So figure it out." I feel that. But at the same time, shame on you. You tell somebody after they at least eat it. You go, hey, by the way, yeah, you're going to love that. You know what I mean?
No, but they knew what they was getting into when they bought the ticket.
Oh, okay. So that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Like if they go in knowingly and just assume that everything's infused.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's why I said you
know what I mean.
And assume everything's infused, and then you'll be all right.
So real quick before we get into kind of the favorite W's, like talk a little bit more. No. Sorry, the planned W's. My bad. I want to kind of touch on something. So, as you all know, cuisine outside of the United States, they eat a lot slower. Okay, like if you were to sit down at a restaurant in, let's say, France or Italy, you're going to sit down for a good maybe couple of hours, okay? Like it's just better that way. Food's better, your body digests better, you get the idea. And so we've bastardized that and made it fast, quick and fast, quick and fast here in America. Yo, think about it as your sex life, though. Which one you want? You feel me? That's the point. And so,
right.
So which one do you want? Do you want that jackrabbit? Because it'll get the job done, but it's gonna be 30 seconds about it. You know what I'm saying?
I prefer slow and steady.
It wins away. It wins away. It wins the race. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the point. We all know that story, the tortoise and the hare. You know what I mean? Why does everybody think it's to be cool to be fucking Sonic the Hedgehog or some shit? I'll never know. But my point here is this. Let's say that we did an infusion dinner, okay, and the dinner itself takes, say, 2 hours. And they're like, well, or 4 hours or whatever. We're creating an experience because we're not going to just serve you all of your food, eat it, get high, and then that's it. No. You spread it out evenly so you can basically elevate and maintain for an experience and then basically descend down with the aid of CBD. That is the way that food should be.
Yes.
That's where I'm at with that. Real quick message from another one of our sponsors. Let's see. Mary Palmer, y'all. They're doing some awesome stuff out of Boston. I think I saw an ad that they did for, I think they're Kool-Aid or their sunblock, one of the two. I don't think they do Kool-Aid. No, it wasn't Kool-Aid. I think it was sunblock. Anyways, guys, marypalmer.com. Check them out. We'll come back to the planned dubs. marypalmer.com. Who is marypalmer.com? Awesome stuff. Oh man, that drink kicked in. Yeah, and we're back. So, planned dubs. Yo, this section is kind of getting to know like who you would smoke with, like given the chance, like who, we all have that question, like who do you want to smoke with and why? This is kind of that. But I kind of didn't really put any restrictions on it because of very lackadaisical writing at my leisure. So, dead or alive, Marjorie, who would you smoke with and why?
Oh, wow.
Like dead or alive, like doesn't just they're coming back from the dead if they dead to smoke with just you, like it's a big deal.
Well, okay.
The right kind of voodoo.
I got a dead and an alive person.
Get it. Now we'll go both. That's fine.
Okay. So, dead person, I'm going to say Tupac.
Ooh.
Alive person, I'm going to say Method Man. But I've always loved Method Man. So
you've got East Coast and West Coast representation on that. You hear me? I said you got East Coast and West Coast representation on that.
I know.